And then he said, "Private, that's not Camembert.
Oh, it's...
That's my mother." Cheese knife did the job, though.
Yeah.
Did the job.
Yeah.
Got to admire the craftsmanship. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to another... You sounded like that kid. You know, in the Instagram video, he's running around saying good morning to everyone.
Hi.
Good morning. Hi.
Hi.
That was wonderful. Could you greet me like that every time we see each other from now on?
No.
Great. Welcome to Big Damn Cast. Nerdy news, geeky gossip, things have happened this week. The fuck? And you're all looking at the thumbnail going, Marvel again? Really? Well, someone else release a thing.
Marvel again?
I'm Chris. Restore the please give me something else averse just for the sake of the algorithm, Johnson.
And I am your guide through these multiverses.
Do we ponder the question?
What?
The fuck? Welcome, everyone. Hi.
What?
Hi. There's a few bits of news that have come out since. Have we got any emails we're going to cover this week, or are we saving for next week?
I don't believe we have. Let me double check while you're telling me about bits of news that have happened.
First bit of news I really want to bring up because it's kind of magical and I want your opinion on it because it came out while I was away and you were not away, but we were away from each other as a result because of that. Jamie Clayton has been cast as Pinhead in the Hellraiser reboot for Hulu. This is some really interesting casting. This is a really, really interesting take because, as someone who knows is Clive Barker, what can you tell us about Pinhead on paper in the original book?
Well, they're not called Pinhead for one thing.
That's true.
I'm not even sure if they've got nails in there. And they have. It's been a while since I've read The Hellbound Heart.
What you're hearing here, listeners, is someone who is aware of the source material enough and enjoys it enough and has no hatred in his heart in an unnecessary way that his first reaction was, oh, I don't even know if the character was called the same, but yeah, blah, 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 instead of what other people have said on the internet.
Yeah, of course.
Which is, they've cast a woman as Pinhead!
Oh no! Terrible!
Because that's the thing.
Who cares?
In the original book, in was it Hellbound Goblin?
Hellbound Heart.
Hellbound Heart.
Yeah.
Pinhead's androgynous.
Yeah.
Pinhead is seemingly genderless and non-specified.
Yeah, they don't actually tell you that much about Pinhead in the book.
The reason that character is considered male by this sudden angry sect on the internet is because Doug Bradley played Pinhead in the movies, first actor to play in the movies, and did a great job, and it was a very iconic performance, and, like...
And then kept coming back for endless sequels.
Yeah, but, people, they associate him with the role. So there you go. The role is not a copy-paste of Doug Bradley. If anything, doing that, like they did for, I guess, the prequel/reboot of it all originally, doesn't really result in anything worth talking about.
No.
This time, they cast an actress.
Yep.
And specifically, because of course people started digging into this in a horrible way, unnecessarily, a trans actress. Which, if anything, adds even more to adapting the source material more accurately when the character was androgynous and yet seemingly of both genders, as it was mostly written at the time, black and white that way. And Clive Barker's working on this too. He's part of it.
Yes.
So Clive Barker has gone,
for the first time since Hellraiser 2.
But he's gone, she will be perfect in the role. The guy who created the role, on paper, the guy who made the movie with this character first appearing on, celluloid, has gone, she's going to be incredible. I can't wait for you all to see her. And the fan base, scare quotes, for Hellraiser, are so annoyed. And they're annoyed. It can't be a WOM. Don't let it be a WOM. It's like, guys, shut the fuck up. Sit the fuck down. If you are that delicately affected by this, don't watch it. But furthermore, do you remember what Hellraiser's about?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on.
It's not some kind of oh no, it's gotta be you can kind of see. I don't agree with them, and they're all wrong, and they're fucking obnoxious. But you can kind of see why some people who hated Masters of the Universe Revelation were annoyed that there wasn't as much He-Man in it. Because if to them, that's what they associated with Masters of the Universe. It's He-Man. He's the star.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it to a degree. The fact that the series doesn't have his name in the title anyway was a giveaway that it wasn't going to be solely about him.
Yeah.
And if you watch the fucking thing, it is about him. It's about the effect his lie has had on the people around him when everything goes to shit. It's all about him. He's just not in it. Fuck's sake. But anyway, you can see why some people are like, oh, I like it because of the swords and sorcery and the big bulging muscles, Conan-esque kind of thing. And it didn't have that, and I didn't enjoy it because it didn't have that in it. Fair enough. But it's like, what is Hellraiser about, Matt? If you could sum it up in a sentence, the hell is Hellraiser as a concept about?
Kinky demons have come for your soul.
But surely this kinky demon, like, has got to be sort of a macho guy, right? He's going to be a macho man.
Yeah, macho man in a lot of fucking skirt.
Yeah, oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But surely him having a penis is a key part
I wouldn't be sure
character.
that he still has a penis.
Okay, but like surely the fact that he identifies as male is dead set in stone, right?
I'm not sure that he identifies as anything.
See, basically, we're being sarcastic about the thing here. It's if you've taken offense, I'm so annoyed. If you have taken offense, and I'm not even a Hellraiser fanboy myself, if you have taken offense to the casting of Jamie Clayton in the role of Pinhead in a reboot by its creator. Like, the creator's given it the blessing and is shepherding this project, like, is producing it and looking after it and created the characters, like, the character is based on in the first place. If you really take offense to the fact that it is now a female performer in that role, grow the fuck up. Doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. And if you take even further offense that it's a trans actress in the role,
oh god,
you're a scumbag, sit the fuck down, stop being so judgmental and piss off. Anyway.
Also, there's precedent for this.
Do present, good sir.
In the Boom Studios Hellraiser comic series.
Yes.
Which
I'm aware of this shit.
Was involved with. Mm-hmm. Kirsty from the original film.
Yep.
Takes over as Pinhead for a while.
Yes.
So there is,
And all these hardcore fanboys, they've definitely read the comics, right? They've absolutely read the comics.
But it's not Kirsty, it's Pinhead, and it just changes to who
Why are you guys so scared of women? Why are you so scared of them? Like,
I think about that.
They're not monsters, they're human beings.
Why you like this?
I mean, be scared of women because they're super powerful and
Chris,
absolutely deserve the earth.
Why are you like this?
Did you hear that? I was virtue signalling, apparently.
Oh, right, okay, cool.
My bisexual ass was virtue signalling to women. Yeah.
Cool. Tell me more about your bisexual ass.
Well, you know that when my asshole puckers, it goes, wow, as we established in a text conversation before you arrived.
Yeah, alright.
Do you know what else made me go, wow, but in a confused way?
Okay, go on.
Last week, while we were not recording, Doctor Who had a social media blackout. And by social media blackout,
this is fucking weird.
I mean all of the accounts, Twitter, Facebook page, Instagram, Matt's phone, which just fell off of a shelf, which is kind of eerie.
I'm okay!
All of them vanished.
Yeah, I don't get this at all.
Which got the fan base talking, which got it trending. Because everyone was like, what's happening? What's going on? Why is this happening?
How do we get trending? Or we take all our social media offline? Or what's that going to... Oh, and that'll direct people to us, right? Well, no, because we've taken it all offline.
Well, here's my issue. When it came back, it was apparent the reason they did it was to get everyone's attention and then go, here's the announcement for Series 13, which is not called Series 13. We're going back to freaking... What is it? Series 16 styling now. Season 16 and Season 23. It's not called Doctor Who Season 13, Series 13. It's Doctor Who Flux.
Flux?
We got a weird little teaser on TV that was then on the internet of Jodie like talking to camera saying, hey, there's shit going down, Sontarans, Weeping Angels, we've got to help by. It's not a trailer. It's a cool promotional stunt, that little trailer showing up on TV, like, sure, whatever.
We don't need trailers anymore.
But it's not a trailer. And the artwork looks great. Like, I think the promo art looks really, really cool. The Doctor on the yellow-orange background, the rainbow graphics still being part of, like, how it's designed.
I love the Doctor on a yellow background.
That's very true. I've read your diary, your very specific diary about Doctors on backgrounds.
June 29th.
Today,
I love the Doctor on a yellow background.
Today,
I think it looks really good.
I saw a picture of Peter Cushing leaning against an off-white wall, and I must say, it did make my heart sour.
Peter Davison, I think, suits a puce background.
It does. Really makes the beige pop.
Yeah.
So...
Nut brown for some bacon.
Not
a good
brown
ale.
for top, like a good... Curry sauce all over your anus. Delish. Wow. Wow, says the anus. So the announcement that the episodes are launching, finally, Flux, the 6th season, previously 9, now previously 8, then possibly 9, now 6. Sure. 6-episode season is starting Sunday, October the 31st. We're getting a Halloween kickoff.
Yeah, around the corner, innit?
If that first episode is not at least eerie, then that's a big mistake. Like, the first episode has to be scary, or that is a real pointless night to put it on, because people are going to favour trick-or-treating and watching horror films instead.
I wish they'd just stop fluxing around and get it on already.
God damn it.
Hey!
It's also the first episode, as far as I'm aware, someone correct me wrong if I'm wrong in an email, but it's also the first episode, as far as I'm aware, that will cross over the watershed.
Oh, then it has to be scary.
It's billed for like 8:30 on a Sunday, which is weird.
That is weird.
It's a family show. Like, you want your kids to go to bed for school like early on a Sunday night, but whatever.
Well, it doesn't know what show it is.
But it's also catch-up culture, so the parents might watch it with the kids like Monday afternoon after school or whatever. But it's still just kind of like, okay, that's odd. But all the same, good that we've got an air date. Cool that it's soon. I don't want this era to end immediately because it's still got stuff that I want to see it do. And though we have, like, you know, excitement about the future, there's still, as Russell said in his statement about taking over, there's still a load of adventures with this team before we get to the new stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I want to see them, so I'm glad they're coming. But do you know who paid attention to the social media blackout, even though it did get into trending, Where is Doctor Who? Do you know who paid attention to it? The people already following the social media accounts.
Yeah.
Do you know who you don't need to market to?
The people already following the social media accounts.
Because they're already following the social media accounts. You need to market to Joe Public, who has a passing interest or curiosity about the show, who will be ensnared by a brilliant trailer that makes them go, oh, that looks like the stuff I used to watch when I was younger. Or, oh my God, that looks I've never watched it before, but that looks really cool. They're the people you need to preach to. You've already got everyone else. They're already going to tune in. So that's your first mistake, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Second is, the day it happened was the day after Maze Theory released the proper launch, it's coming out next week trailer for Doctor Who The Edge of Reality, console and PC game. And it was the day after the Season 17 The Collection Blu-ray trailer dropped, featuring a brand new short with David Goodison reprising his role vocally as Davros, which is kind of cool. There's been some great critiques of it online saying, isn't it weird how it's so moody and atmospheric, but that season is basically just Tom fucking around.
Yeah.
It's just, what? Hang on.
It's not
Especially
Tom
Destiny
season.
of the Daleks as well.
Yeah.
It's like, oh look, rocks. Like, it's
fucking love it.
But
love it.
But it's cool that they continue this tradition of the collection announcement trailers or something special. Either something really funny or something kind of cool and weird looking.
Yeah.
Both of those things went out on the Doctor Who YouTube channel, as well as the social media accounts.
YouTube.
Do you know what vanished alongside the social media accounts for 3 days?
The YouTube channel!
Yeah. So all those articles, all that press talking about both of those things, the video game and the box set, suddenly the embedded video in those articles was not available for several days during the 2-3 day cycle where those news stories will be at their most viewed.
You know what I often think about the current Doctor Who marketing team?
Go on.
No one knows what they're doing.
It's all a bit confusing. I don't know if I'm coming or going or watching this thing.
Do they?
No.
It's just a mess.
And I don't think it's I don't think it's the web people necessarily. I don't think it's your teams at like BBC who man these accounts. I think it's some brand department working in or with BBC Studios who thought this was a good idea.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not though.
It's like, did you watch 2012 and W1A?
Jesus. Oh my God. I couldn't watch W1A beyond the first episode. And do you want to know why?
Because it's so real.
It's fucking real. Like, I was working... I think when the first series debuted, I just left Television Centre and was working at Media City.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is real. This is... This isn't comedy to me. This is distressingly real. Look at all these people. Oh, they're hilarious, making silly decisions. Oh, the commissioner doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
This producer's clueless. It's like, yeah, and it's like 97% of the people who work there, and this is really difficult to watch without feeling sad inside.
Do we think that the Jessica Hines character is actually managing Doctor Who's sort
Oh,
of
yeah.
marketing strategy?
Yeah. They've employed that character because they've got them on record for some reason. Yeah. And they don't realise it's Jessica Hines as an actress and she's somewhere else. Yeah. So yeah, they've just left. They've set up an email account for this person and everything, and they're just, oh my god. But Doctor Who, less than 4 weeks away. Yay!
I feel good about that.
I want it. I want it in my eyes.
I want it.
Speaking of, we'll talk about it next week because I'm going to play it on release.
Yes.
But The Edge of Reality is coming out this week.
The Edge of Reality!
The final launch trailer showed that it's not just a VR-less rehash of Edge of Time. There is a lot of new content in this. It's
Good.
like 3 times the length.
It's all the stuff that would have been behind you when you're doing VR.
Yeah. You just never saw it, you never turned around.
Yeah. It's actually there the whole
The 13th Doctor is the Doctor in the game that you interact with, but the 10th Doctor plot is a side plot. It's one of the locations you go to.
Okay.
You run into him.
So the 10th Doctor's my side piece.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
My other anus is wears sand shoes.
My other anus is gaping.
When that one puckers, it goes, well. Oh yes, that's what it says.
Oh yes.
And yeah, so that's coming out. So to sort of prepare for it, I went to pre-order it on PlayStation Store. Wasn't ready. Xbox Marketplace pre-order was. PlayStation wasn't. But I realised they'd snuck out a console version of The Lonely Assassins back in July.
Oh god.
Bit pricey than the mobile one. If you want to buy it on Android or Apple phone, it's $3.99, and it is built to play on a phone. But
Apple phone sounds delicious.
I know, apple grass. If you turn your notifications off and put your headphones in, that's the ideal way to play it. On a phone, headphones in, no other apps bothering you.
Yeah.
That's how you should play it. The total play time is about, to complete it, mostly to completion. There's a couple of things I missed, apparently, because there's a couple of trophies I didn't get. To completion took about 3.5 hours.
Okay.
One of the most entertaining games I've played in a while. Really creepy.
So you could play it while you're waiting for the number 8, for example.
Probably.
And get most of the way through.
Probably. What, the bus that's due every 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right. But yeah, so
It means nothing to people outside of Greater Manchester.
but I bet everyone's got a number 8 and
Yeah.
they get it. I recommend it. I really do recommend playing it. It works solely as a game on its own. Do you know the premise or the basic premises?
You're stranded.
No.
No, there's weeping angels
well,
around, and
yes, but
there's the doctor's like left your messages.
nope.
And
Nope.
And what am I thinking of then?
probably that game, but not quite.
Okay.
A phone has found itself in your possession,
Oh, okay.
and when you get a call from a caller ID called Petronella Osgood, it's revealed to you that a friend, a mutual friend of yours, or someone you've not met yet, but someone she knows, may think that you're the person to help, so has got the phone to you.
Oh god.
The phone belongs to a man called Lawrence Nightingale.
Oh yeah.
And he went missing 3 days prior. The phone is corrupted to fuck, but you using it and texting Osgood is enough to help her set up a link that she can try to kind of defrag this phone remotely from where she is. You've just got to go through it. You have to look for evidence of why Lawrence went missing, why he's at odds with a property developer,
Well, aren't we all?
and what happened to his wife, Natasha. And
Black Widow.
And why he and an old friend in his phone called Sally, are panicking about the property developer's recent purchase.
Right.
So it's, if you know Blink, which most casual Doctor Who fans even know Blink.
Yeah.
It's one of the most known ones. If you know Blink, you see where this is going. If you don't know Blink, it still works because everything is built up through the forums you find, the email conversations. Like you can, it doesn't go, here's the events of 2007's Blink.
Yeah.
You learn about the threat gradually and how it works. as you go through, including stuff that you know from watching Time of Angels, Flesh and Stone, is established through the conspiracy forums that you find on the web browser.
Yes.
Also, you notice he seems to be trying to look up anything and everything to do with sightings of a blue box throughout history. And you have to figure out why he's doing this.
#blue box.
Yeah. It's really good. You get creepy calls from number stations. At one point, Larry calls you, even though you're on his phone, because it's not him. And fucking hell, the phone gets corrupted. There are some timed moments where if you fuck up, you're dead. And all I'll say is this. It's a phone. It's a modern phone. It's got pictures on it. And that which holds the image of an angel. The port to TV works really well. It works like a mouse control. The left analog sticks works as mouse control, and the shape buttons on the PS5 controller I played it on
shape buttons
are shortcuts for like going back to the main menu and things like that. I don't know what to call them.
Face buttons.
That's the one.
The
The
face of the
old
controller.
face baton.
Face buttons.
Face baton.
Face buttons, shoulder buttons.
It's really fun. I really recommend it. One of the scariest like indie games I've played in a while, which is odd because I went in going, yeah, it'll probably be a bit creepy, and I came out going, no, my hairs on my arms
A bit of wuss
are on
on
end.
Chris.
Fucking play it, and then tell me that I wussed out on this one because it's just ooh. But
I could play it, but
because
I
even
don't
though
want to.
even though I was looking at it on a screen, not on a phone screen, I still felt like the thing in front of me
Yeah.
was this object, and it's so well done. Massive bonus points for including some huge fan service to fans of the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Oh, neat.
Because you find out what two main characters are currently up to.
Okay.
And it's really nice. Anyway,
Cool. That sounds alright.
massively recommend
If you
it.
like that kind of thing.
Yeah, be pedantic and search everything because I need to go back and play it one more time to get the secret ending.
The secret ending.
But based on that and the work they did on that in terms of how much they clearly care about the property.
Yeah.
And Doctor Who's a tough one to make video games about. We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
You can't really do a straightforward video game because you can't battle or fight anyone
can't
because
do
that's
Dalek
against the
Attack.
Doctor's philosophy. You can't do Dalek Attack for the freaking BBC.
Yeah.
What was it called?
I think it was for the
BBC
Spectrum.
Micro?
BBC Micro, yeah.
Yeah, oh god.
Could do Destiny of the Doctors.
But even then, you're not playing the Doctor. You're playing a random, like, sentient blob that's fighting monsters on his behalf to save him. It's yeah, exactly. The Eternity Clock makes the mistake of going, we'll half it. We'll give it to River. But the mechanics mean that it's still very stilted, and the only difference is the Doctor can sneak past stuff and hack things as a distraction, and River shoots them and temporarily stuns them, which is the same as providing a distraction. It doesn't really... Yeah. So because of this, I'm really excited to play Edge of Time and find out how much love's gone into that one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm on the edge of
time. Let us not beat further around this filthy
let's get
filthy
into the
pubis.
weeds, shall we?
Last week we didn't talk about it because we weren't here, but this week we can. Episodes 8 and 9 of What If, which is a Disney Plus series about the What If Men.
It is.
Who are a lovely superhero team who walk around going, life is good, but it could be better. Yeah, no, it's not that. What if Ultron won? And what if what if the Watcher broke his oath? The series finally comes to a head and does the thing we sort of suspected it was going to do at some point.
Yeah, which actually, on reflection, is the only reason that they did it.
Yeah, Thor. What if Thor was an only child? Ended with it's a happy tale ending and everything's great, and suddenly an Uber Ultron body and drones appear, and the Watcher goes, "Wait, what?" And you're like, "Oh, this is
Although I do wish Ultron would take that armor ultra off, because I don't like the design.
It's. Do you know why? Do you know why? I appreciated them doing here's what would happen if he'd got Vision's body, because that's ultimately we then cut to a timeline where, and it's told straight at first. There's no sort of like pickup of last week. It's told straight.
Yeah.
It's what if basically Ultron succeeded uploading himself into Vision.
Yeah.
Which meant that he was invincible, essentially. Which then meant his plan was not, I'm going to live, because it's only after they steal the Vision body does he go through with the Sokovia plan, where he's going to lift up this entire city and then plunge it into the earth as a meteorite, like, what's it called? Extinction event thing. He instead is like, right, I've got into this body, which is even more advanced. I'm now going to hack into every nuke around the world and kill everyone. Because that's what Ultron wants to do. He wants to protect the world, and the world will not be protected as long as humanity lives.
Yeah.
That was his objective, which I feel this episode didn't quite recap well enough to... It sort of seemed more that he was like, I have to destroy all life. It's like, but why? Why do you have to destroy all life? Oh yeah, because in the film, the idea is that you want to protect Earth. Which made it kind of odd that he then was like, right, well, I've got to keep protecting everywhere, so I'm going to kill everything. It's like, all right. But at the same time, it'd be really boring if it just ended with him nuking Earth and then going, and I'm done. Like, it would be boring. We wouldn't have a story.
Yeah.
If he didn't have higher aspirations. So when Thanos steps out of a fucking portal on Earth looking for the Mind Stone, Ultron just goes, fascinating. Cuts him in half immediately before Thanos even has a chance to say a word.
Yeah, I thought that was neat.
It's cool because it's sort of like, yeah, okay, I buy that.
Curb stomp.
The internet obviously was going, why didn't Vision do that? And it's like, my dudes, Vision never had the chance to do that.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Also, Vision wouldn't have done that.
He wouldn't have just senselessly murdered him. He would have tried to reason with him, for fuck's sake. Ship of Theseus, bitches.
That's the only time that sentence has ever been uttered.
This Vision's like, ship of these nuts, and then just punches him.
Ship of these nuts.
So yeah, Ultron gains the Infinity Stones, gives himself a cape, so I guess that's the thing he just was always going to do.
Yeah.
And
Love a cape.
Fucks right off. The reason the design doesn't... I appreciate them trying to do that, but the reason the design didn't gel well with me is because it looked like Ultron Sigma from Marvel v Capcom Infinite.
Yeah.
Like, just the only difference was that version didn't open its face to have a different face inside it.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was just like, oh god, this looks like a fucking horrible one from that terrible video game.
That's why it doesn't work for me. It's just Vision wearing Ultron.
Yeah, it should have just been Vision. It should have just been Vision.
Yeah.
Augment Vision a bit. Give him the weird kind of like horns around the side of his face or something. I was having his tech look different.
Change the pattern on his face to resemble that.
Yeah, give him the weird sort of ciphers on his cheeks that the movie Ultron's got.
An Apocalypse mouth.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Apocalypse mouth, not Apocalypse, but another Marvel villain got referenced by Ultron in this episode.
Yeah.
So the episode starts like that, and we learn that... So that episode's plot, seemingly, is that Natasha Romanoff and Clint Barton, minus an arm now with an Ultron drone arm for an arm...
He always has to lose an arm.
...survived the fallout. They're the only heroes that survived the fallout and all the attacks and everything.
Yeah, because they were, like, in the air at the time.
And they're like, right, we have to stop this. The only way we can is by fucking him up from the inside. So, and I thought this was cool. I thought this... Because Natasha, at that point in the timeline, would sort of go, I mean, there is this super intelligence that I've encountered... And you can believe that she has done some reading since The Winter Soldier to see, like...
you would, wouldn't you?
Surely Zola's got a backup.
Yeah.
Turns out he does. The backup is hiding, and what I love about this, and what I love about the sets they use in this, the sets are so accurate for locations we've been to in the films.
Yeah.
So accurate. That computer monitor is in that base in Russia in Captain America Civil War. And the thought now that, like, there's a Zola tucked away on that...
Yep.
It's kind of cool. It's like, that's a neat little nod. And we got more Toby Jones. Noby Jones? No. Toby Jones.
Yeah, I love Toby Jones. We actually got some good Toby Jones in this.
Love that Toby. Tasty bit of Toby Jones.
Good old Toby Jug. Jones.
We get a warped version of Natasha's sacrifice from Endgame when Clint drops down to stop the drones from getting the Zola-infected drone. And I like that idea. They get it in the drone to take everyone down, and Zola's like, yeah, it's not working. They're like, wait, why? Why the hell's it not working? It's like, oh, because he's not on Earth. Ultron's nowhere nearby.
No, it's not that he's nowhere nearby. He's not in that universe.
Exactly. He's out of reach completely.
Yeah.
Like, there's no signal can get to him. And also the USB arrow making a comeback.
Yeah.
It was in one of the films, wasn't it? So it's like, that's kind of cool. But, yeah, the reason he's not in the universe... It's because after taking the Infinity Stones and going around the universe and wiping out as much sentient life as he can find, he's like, oh, fuck, I've kind of run out now. Wait a minute, hang on. These stones can do all sorts of shit. But he discovers there's a multiverse.
Well, he hears the Watcher.
Because he hears the Watcher. What the fuck? Now, it made me appreciate the Doctor Strange setup more.
Yes.
Because you realise, even though it works contained in that story,
Yes.
it informed us that when a being has that much supreme power, their awareness of the fabric of the universe is just instantly enhanced. They may not realise it, but they will.
Like the cosmic awareness that a couple of different versions of Captain Marvel have had over the years.
Exactly. Strange in that one just overhears the Watcher narrating to us.
Yeah.
Which is like, what the fuck is happening? And then in this, the Watcher's like narrating, and Ultron's like, who said that?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit. Oh no. And yeah, so we realised the end of the previous episode was set during this montage of Ultron travelling through the multiverses after breaking into the sort of bit between them where the Watcher is, beating the fuck out of him for a bit, and then taking on every universe.
Big old cosmic battle, complete with Kirby crackle.
Oh, right. I like the Natasha and Clint plot a lot. I really enjoyed it. I think Lake Bell's done a great job playing the Black Widow in this series, and hearing her opposite Jeremy Renner, I was like, no, do you know what? I buy that this is Natasha and Clint.
Yeah.
I buy that it's these two. Toby Jones added bonus. One thing I've enjoyed in this series is I really love the fight choreography. I think it's been really well directed.
Fight choreography's been really excellent, actually.
And the fight between the Watcher and Ultron was really creative. Like, it was really weird. Especially when you got the Galactus moment.
Yeah.
Where he goes to, like, devour a planet that the Watcher's on.
That's
and
quite good.
They light the curves of his head a very specific way, so it just kind of looks a bit Galactus-y. And it's like, we see what you're doing.
I see you, Marvel.
But this is the point where it's sort of like, this episode does not work alone, and it is part 1 of 2. Because even though we get the story of the Ultron world, we don't kind of get it complete before it deviates into the Watcher going, oh, fuck. I'm going to need some help, guys.
Yes.
Cutting forward to what if the Watcher broke his oath, where he Nick Fury's a bunch of folks from different dimensions. Captain Carter from episode 1. Star-Lord T'Challa from episode 2. Killmonger from episode 6. Doctor Strange from episode 4. Because the first one ends with him talking to Doctor Strange, like confiding in him.
Yeah.
Meaning that he's gone, I need to talk to a dude who's all-powerful to figure out what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Hi! Hi! Good morning! Hi! Frees him from his prison. And Strange is like, yeah, sure, let's go. This Strange has obviously found some kind of redemption. Because at the end of the second part, when tasked with the staying in his pocket dimension to keep an eye on Ultron and Zola? Was that fighting at the end?
Ultron and... Yeah.
Yeah. When tasked with that, which basically means still being in prison but also keeping an eye on something, he's like, yeah, no, I'll do it. So he sort of realises he fucked up and he's the best person to do this. The selfishness is gone.
Or has it?
Well, Spider-Man No Way Home, coming to cinemas December.
Yeah.
But yeah, he recruits Doctor Strange, who then gets these other heroes. We also get Party Thor, who we see in scenes set shortly after the end of his episode, where he's fighting a lot of Ultron drones in Las Vegas, which has basically become his favourite place ever.
Yeah.
And we see an episode that... Oh god, Captain America's shield just fell down.
I'm so sorry.
It's alright. We see an episode...
Where Captain America's shield falls down.
Captain America's shield fell down 8 times. An episode that didn't get finished. But we know from some early discussions about the series was in development. Which is...
Oh, yeah, okay.
We go to... what's it called? What's the name of the forge? Where Stormbreaker's made.
Yes, the big forge.
Big old forge holes.
The big old forge.
Yeah. Oh my god. Nevada Lear.
That sounds right.
I think... Oh god. Rocket likes it. Point is, the place where Stormbreaker is, and there's a giant Peter Dinklage. And we arrive there to see Tony Stark in a sort of Hulkbuster armour covered in Sicarian painting.
Yeah.
And Gamora wearing a version of Thanos' armour.
And carrying a version of his big old sword.
Carrying a version of his helicopter blades.
Yeah.
Forging something called, was it the Infinity Crusher? So creating a device that will destroy Infinity Stones.
Melting down the Infinity Gauntlet to do so.
Which was a nice little nod. Yeah, because of course, like, if you're going to create something that can house them to destroy them, why not use the thing that housed them when someone was using them? That makes sense. Again, these little visual nods to the set pieces and the props that don't need any explaining, but like it's cool when you think about it. That's the sort of stuff I've enjoyed. We had an episode in development that we would have seen where Tony goes through the wormhole with the missile at the end of Avengers, gets stuck in there, doesn't die, and ends up on Sakaar.
Yes.
However that episode concludes, we can now determine it concludes at least with him and Gamora teaming up, probably having taken down Thanos and now trying to destroy the Infinity Stones. Hence why he's in a space age sort of pocket-sized version of the Hulkbuster armor.
Pocket-sized Hulkbuster.
They one of the creators has said that we're not going to see that episode now. But they're not against doing similar concepts in the second season if they feel that it's the right story.
See that episode?
It was because of, drums please, the latter half of production being affected by the coronavirus pandemic.
Fuck you, coronavirus.
So
this season was shot. That's fine. I could have done with one last episode. I could have done with a couple of.
But it explains why we had 9 because 10 sounds more rounded.
Well, the people are just making up episode counts for series now.
Yeah.
Like, there's no consistency in any of it.
But we got Gamora.
Fine.
We got Gamora on the team. And that was fun. It was nice to see Gamora, and her in that costume looks really fucking cool. It's a cool design. It sort of looks like her comic book white and black costume.
Yeah. Without
it
being also massively cleavage revealing and stuff.
Well, the later one's been less cleavage revealy, but like the armor plates have been individualized, so the armor plate is just like boobs.
Oh no, I thought you meant like the plunging thing.
Oh no, not that one. No.
One Kine.
Oh no. Also, Gamora Iron Man team up seems like a bit of a nod to Iron Man's time with the Guardians and the fact that they basically became fuck buddies.
Well,
for the duration.
I don't think he could keep up.
Yeah, no, he was knackered and terrifying each time, but he still went back.
Well,
he still went back whenever she said, "Do you want to?" He's like, "Yes, I do."
Once you go Gamora, you always want more.
And I think there's at least one joke about Captain Kirk at some point in that run as well.
Oh yeah,
run.
probably.
Speaking of, do you think he's got too higher expectations of outer space? William Shatner's going to go up there and be like, "Now, when do I get to sleep with the Green Woman?" It's like, well, for starters, you're a 90-year-old man.
To boldly go and boldly come.
To boldly go where no catheter has gone before.
Oh!
So you went for the old man having sex with an alien joke. I went for the old man shitting himself joke.
Nonagenarians. If we have any nonagenarian listeners, how many times can I say nonagenarian in this episode?
90 times?
I can do it 9 times.
We end up in a universe. Well, I like the little go-between briefing room being a version of the bar from Peggy's time during World War II. That was cute because it was a nice little cozy setting that really highlighted how weird the designs of everyone are. Seeing them in a natural place. But I like the fact when we met Peggy, she was essentially in the events of the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that was neat.
Down to Batroc being involved and her approach being completely different to Steve's.
Yeah.
That was cool. And her and Natasha having a really good rapport, which made sense when they went to the universe. They're like, we can fight Ultron here, attract him here, because he can't hurt anyone else. Because I'm guessing they didn't realise, Natasha's still alive on this Earth.
Yeah.
But it means that there was an instant shorthand with her and Peggy, which was quite nice. I like that. I like Natasha's apocalypse look. I think it's really cool. Yeah. I love the fact she's still using the Red Guardian shield.
Mad Nat.
Mad Nat Fury. Whoa, I don't know. It's just a superhero ending.
It is, isn't it?
Like, there's some cool fighting in there. There's some really inventive visuals in there. When Doctor Strange starts doing magic versus technology is very cool.
Yeah.
The Killmonger betrayal is so obvious from the moment he picks up the Ultron drone head. And it's like, that version of Killmonger, sure, but one thing this series does in both his episode and in this, when he tries to reason why he's doing it with everyone, is they don't go far enough to have him just outright say what he wants to do.
Yeah.
They suggest what he wants to do based on you remembering what his plot was in Black Panther. And I'm sort of like, you either go all in on that or you don't.
The thing is, I'm always been a proponent of letting the audience do a bit of work, trusting the audience's intelligence and memory of things that they've already seen. But I think this swings too far on that.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
a little too much of it.
It works well when it's little background nods that aren't plot reliant, that you just go, oh, that'd do that, like the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Like the gauntlet being melted down to create the Infinity Smasher. It's like, of course, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's not essential. You don't need to know that for the Infinity Smasher to work narratively. Weird design. It's like a metal spider with an ass to grind.
Yeah. Well,
just grinding its ass on Ultron's chest.
Got an ass to grind.
Some people pay good money for that.
You can fanfic out there, no
some people pay good money for commissions on DeviantArt.
Yeah, well, yes, there we go. The thing, you know what bugged me about this last episode specifically?
Mm-hmm.
This is the first sort of MCU thing where the humour has bugged me. Because it just felt out. It just like the Watcher quipping just felt wrong.
Yes.
It just didn't work.
Like it worked brilliantly. Him doing comedy worked good in two places for me, and it was the wait what at the end of episode 7 because it was surprising.
Yes.
And him debating whether or not he should interfere and trying to sort of nudge Clint toward finding the right file. I didn't hate,
but they also
because it felt like even he was like, why am I? Oh God, I can't believe I'm having to do this. Like, it felt like he was panicking. But then he would have there was a lot of cool one-liners after that. And that kind of was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it didn't feel right. Those two moments you mentioned didn't feel like comic relief moments.
Yeah, they felt
just felt like part of the story.
They felt like part of the story, and the character would react that way. Because he's known life to be one thing.
Yeah.
And then, first time, life derails and surprises him. And the second time, he's having to change his entire philosophy.
But like the things like the back and forth was strange about who picked him.
Yeah.
It just didn't work for me.
Well, it's also weird that the result is like, yeah, out of the multiverse, this is the team?
Yeah.
I mean, I like all these characters and I've enjoyed their adventures, but this is the team?
Yeah.
And then the resolution being, because I foresaw that these would be the right... What? It's like, wait, what? Huh?
I knew what was going to happen
he
all along.
He sort of implies that his vision is cloudy now because it's out of his hands. It's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
But it's the Madam Web thing, innit? Of like, I can only see versions of the future. I don't know which one we're headed toward. It's that kind of, you know... It's the Doctor Strange putting up his shaky finger in Endgame moment, essentially.
Yeah.
What was I going to say now? Right, so things... One thing the last episode did do well was it had something from each of the preceding episodes.
Yeah.
So Captain Carter, straight out of her story.
Yeah.
Star-Lord T'Challa, straight out of his story.
Yeah.
Out of the... I can't quite remember which one this is. Out of the... Bing, bing, bing. The Avengers Assassinated one. Natasha's ending...
Yes.
Was a return to that timeline.
Yes.
As we found Loki's sort of loyal Asgardians being fought off on the helicarrier by the now resuscitated Captain America, Captain Marvel and Nick Fury.
Yep.
I kind of like that resolution for her, Natasha. I'm like, yeah, there's no one on her Earth. You can't leave her in her universe, Watcher. That would be fucking horrible. Like, there is nothing there. But there is this timeline where there's no Natasha... And she did help you save the multiverse.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can bend the rules just a little bit. So, I liked that. Doctor Strange Supreme, obviously, he's from his 4th episode, and we get, like, all of his demons coming out to play. Again, that mix of all the visual effects for magic being 2D.
Yeah.
Mixed in with the 3D sort of, like, moves and everything looks really cool.
And
I
the moment
appreciate
where
that
he
a
just
lot.
goes full-on tentacle ball.
Yeah, just big old squid boy.
I love the fact we still don't see what's at the root of those tentacles.
We didn't get a cutaway shot of Agent Carter going like, fucking hell, that again.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got one. Oh, no. You can sit at the other side of the people carrier when we drive back to base after this. I'm not sitting anywhere near you. I was washing that smell out of my costume for weeks.
Yeah.
We get the zombies used as a weapon by Strange, which that was fun. Can't be the same ones because Cap was there, but I don't give a shit. It was a visual reference. I kind of like that as a... We've got to stall him here.
Although
opens up a portal, a shitload of zombies fall through. Well, we get the Wanda thing.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh shit, but wait, hang on. I kind of was hoping for there to be a pile of them and then for a giant fucking... not Janet, Hope.
Yeah.
One to fall through and like land on the pile. But again, I like... As far as nods to the episode go, I'm fine with that. That's the most appropriate use of them. Like, brief distraction for Ultron to deal with while they get ready for the fight. Killmonger, obviously, from his episode, and his whole raison d'etre leaked into his motivation. And then Party Thor, he was in the episode, and his location takes part.
I didn't like the way he screamed. His mouth looked weird.
I loved the gag, but I know what you mean. I really loved the gag, but I know what you mean. It's like they overdid it.
Yeah.
But then again, I had to look them both up earlier in the week. I was like, are the Thor models the same? Like, I know he's shaved in this, and I think they did that to just distinctly give him a very individual look as well compared to other versions of Thor.
Looks and acts younger.
But I looked up how Thor looks in What If Earth Lost Its Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah.
You don't see him briefly, but he's bearded and there he is. And it's like, no, it is the same model. It is the exact same model. But he sort of looks like a weird hybrid of Thor and Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. Oh, speaking of, that's the biggest news of the week.
What?
The Home Alone reboot, which looks to be a soft reboot, released its trailer today. It's one of those where it's like, it's the same movie, and that's annoying, but it's got really good comedic talent in it.
Oh, let's do a live watch.
Oh, it's very long.
How
it's
long
very
is
long. It's about a minute and a half to 2 minutes long, the
That's
trailer.
fine.
It's got a good cast, though. It's got Pete Holmes, Aisling B. God, what's Aisling B? Sorry, what's his name? Oh my God, from Deadpool 2. It's not all he's in, but like I always think of him as that because he's Peter. Rob Delaney.
Oh yeah. Let's find out.
And it's called Home Sweet Home Alone.
Oh God, that is the same movie. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's the exact same film, except it's not because we have a confirmation. Kevin's brother is a policeman in this trailer briefly.
Okay,
so
I'm waiting for that.
Oh God, Matt is watching Home Sweet Home Alone.
Okay.
Home Alone.
Have they like shrunk down Nick Frost?
What, the kid? It's the lad from It's the lad from oh God, what's it called? Jojo Rabbit.
Is it?
Yes. Yes. Also, Aisling B is freaking English.
Oh yeah, that's fucking that's Buzz.
And you know the only reason she's English and not Irish is because they were worried that Americans would be confused. It just feels like that's the reason. For those who are listening along at home,
I think this looks alright.
It looks alright. It looks well shot and everything, but it also looks a bit toothless. There's only one visual gag you'll see at the end that makes you go, "Oh, that's the brutality of the original Home Alone." Because part of the Home Alone charm is it's really creepy. Like the music's creepy. Him being alone is teed up that it's scary.
Yeah.
Like, the weird dude in the park and all that sort of stuff. And the burglars, like, they're violent. They're gonna, at one point they like threaten to cut him. Like, you're like, this is really scary.
Yeah.
This gag is the only one that sort of suggests the brutality of the original. Like
Oh!
that, yeah. Like
That's good.
That gag's fun.
That's good. Yeah, that looks like it might be alright. It's gonna be on Disney Plus. Fuck it. Like,
Macaulay Culkin has not denied that he's going to appear in it.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
So, I mean, if you've got a McAllister in it already, you may as well chuck the main one in at some point. But yeah,
do you think Buzz married his girlfriend?
I think he married the tarantula.
Buzz's girlfriend.
I couldn't watch that film. I couldn't watch that film as a kid because of the spider.
Oh,
it was too
mate,
much. It was too much for me. And when he's just delicately placed on Martha's face, I'm like, nope, done.
I put Home Alone up there with that other Daniel Stern starring classic Chud.
What? Cannibal humanoid underground dwellers?
Yeah.
I now want to watch Us again. So, God damn it. I set you an assignment. Did you do it?
I did.
Beautiful boy. Before we go, it's pretty obvious that we were whelmed by the two-part finale of What If.
I was whelmed.
I wasn't
underwhelmed.
Both episodes had some really cool moments, but ultimately it was like, sure. So I said to Matt, considering I think overall we've been mostly on the negative side of What If as the series has gone on.
I think you've been a bit more positive on it than I have, but I've loved it.
I've definitely enjoyed it. I've definitely enjoyed it more, but as it's gone on, I've also been like, this does not capture the spirit of the best episodes. Stand head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah,
and there's no sort of middle ground. There's no kind of they all exist in the same ballpark, but some just shine brighter. These shine brighter for reasons that are quite obvious compared to others. So I thought,
too right.
let us end on a positive note by starting with our... You ready for this YouTube algorithm? You're going to fucking eat this up.
Yes!
Starting with our least favourite episode to best.
Okay,
to most favourite episode. So in 9th position, what have you got in your far bottom episode of the series you gave the least shits about?
What If Zombies.
What If Zombies? Why is that your number 9?
Because it's just not very good. It's kind of dull. It doesn't go the whole hog on the zombie stuff. The comic relief is really ill-placed. And it's just not a full story, is it? Like, it's just not... It doesn't have a complete plot. And I know that's kind of like... But these are like kind of open-ended things, but at least they have a complete enough plot to get through, you know, the half-hour, 25-minute episode. Whereas this doesn't. And it feels really rushed and yet doesn't have enough plot.
Peter's seen his aunt and friends be devoured by zombies. Why is he making cool Zombieland video diaries teaching you how to...
It's fucking weird. Why is... I mean, don't get me wrong. Fucking love David Dismalchin, but why is he in it? Why is Kurt in this? Is it Kurt? Yeah,
Baba Yaga. I think he was... And again, love David Dismalchin. The more David Dismalchin, the better.
Yeah,
I think the reason he's in it is because someone thought of the idea of zombie Scarlet Witch and was like, oh, Kurt should be there to call her Baba Yaga, and that's why.
Yeah, and things like that. If that happened, is why this is my least favourite episode of the season.
My least favourite, my number 9, is What If Killmonger Rescued Tony Stark?
Yeah.
I said at the time when we reviewed it, I like the premise, I like the setup.
Yeah.
But then it just kind of is like, oh, it's Black Panther, but not as interesting.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's still got things up its sleeve when it ends.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like Killmonger's plan isn't really realised. The man who he believes, or did, kill his dad, T'Chaka, is right next to him.
Yeah.
And he, by the end of the episode, he does nothing about that.
Nope.
And you're like, huh, okay, where's this going? And then you get the weird little ending of Baby Shuri and Pepper Potts going, right, there's a conspiracy and we're going to figure it out. And then it ends.
Yeah, Baby Shuri's weird and I don't like it.
And I left it open. Better that than hiring Letitia Wright and paying her more money.
Well, she's in Black Panther forever, so...
Of course she is, but read her Twitter feed, folks. Or don't. Unless if you want your dreams crushed, read her Twitter feed.
I love having crushed dreams.
Oh,
Sprinkle it on top of
crushed
a milkshake
dreams.
with some whipped cream.
I left it open at the time as not my least favourite because I was like, I've got a feeling this will be a thread that will be pulled in the inevitable crossover, which may make me feel different about it on reflection.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It doesn't.
No. We get
a tiny sequel with them storming. They're storming like the throne room in Wakanda. Pepper Potts and like a lot of military with Shuri at the front helping him out.
It's just weird.
And it's like, what does this mean? Why is this
What's
happening?
happened to get us to this point? Like,
and they get there, and of course, Killmonger's gone because he's been teleported to the fight, and you're like,
he's been chosen.
Yeah, and what a great idea considering he betrays them all.
Yeah.
I just thought that one it has its merits. I think Mick Wingert does an amazing job playing Tony Stark, and because of how Tony Stark is written, I buy that that's the same character from the films. I think Michael B. Jordan does a really good job in it, and I would have liked to have seen him in one where maybe Killmonger's path was different in some way.
Yeah. This just feels
to hear him play different layers to the potentials of that character.
Yeah. Whereas it feels just like a short, like a longer way around to get to the same point.
Oh, he's a twist villain.
It's like no, because we've seen Black Panther, which is why it's my number 8.
So your number 8 is What If Killmonger Rescued Tony Stark. Fair enough. Is there anything I've not brought up that knocked it down for you?
It's not as bad as Marvel Zombies, but it's just not interesting. I think for me because it doesn't. I don't think it does a good enough job of actually setting up Killmonger unless you've seen Black Panther. Which, like I say, I am one for trusting your audience's intelligence.
Yeah, if you're watching What If, chances are you've seen the movies. But you should always... Stan Lee's philosophy was every comic is someone's first.
Yeah.
Which is why he was adamant about recap pages always having that thing where there is, like, on the credit page at the start of a comic, that caption that is like, bitten by a radioactive spider, teenager Peter Parker became... Just to sort of give you the idea.
And also so you can put Stan Lee Presents on it.
True. That's very true. But that's, it helps. And as we've said to people on here, I want to read comics, but I don't know where to start. Chances are, with most of them, most modern ones as well, you could just jump into anyone, and it will give you enough context at the top that you'll be like,
well, certainly Marvel comics come with a recap page anyway.
Yeah, and that's, it feels like this show should have kept that philosophy in mind when it comes to episodes like this. My number 8 is the finale. What if the Watcher broke his oath?
Okay. Not as low as that for me, but we'll get to that.
I liked its action a lot, like I said, and I think some of the character interactions were a lot of fun, but there weren't enough of them.
No.
Like, I have no sense of what this Gamora's deal is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a big... Like, the fact that the episode is missing, and yet it's in the finale, is weird.
Peggy welcomed us to the series, but it almost feels like she's just an accessory in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, she gets a couple cute moments in her own timeline with Natasha and the fight with Batroc, which is really fun. I love that it's a completely different approach.
Yeah.
Like, they've got there early. He's on top of the ship. Like, he's not even down in the bowels in the control room yet. It's like, that's quite cool. And the setting up of dating someone from accounting.
Yeah.
Whose name, I'm trying to remember what it is, but their name shares a name with a character that Jeffrey Wright played in something. Bernard.
Yeah, so... Yeah,
From Westworld. Yeah, so it's like, oh, that's kind of... Like, it could just be a random name, but that's kind of cute that they picked a character that... Like, this episode is about the Watcher assembling a team, so they picked a character name from someone he... Yeah. You know. There's also... I can't remember which comic, it's a Marvel thing, but there is a goat somewhere that someone owns that's called Bernard as well, and people online were going, oh, maybe it's a reference to that goat. It's like, Black Widow is not setting up Captain Carter on a date with a goat.
I mean, greatest of all time, maybe.
Ah, true.
But
which is Jeffrey Wright.
Hey!
So yeah, it only works in that logic thing. It only works really as part 2 of a story and the finale to the series.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work on its own, and I just kind of felt like, yeah, all right. And then immediately looked up to see what the announcement about Series 2 was, which confirmed that Series 2 currently there are no plans for Series 2 to have an arc. It's going to be like 8 anthology
which I think
episodes.
I prefer, because if it lets those episodes breathe a bit without having to set something up, which I think some of the episodes in this suffered from.
They've said they're not against revisiting some of the worlds, maybe, but currently there are no plans to do that in what Season 2 episodes have been selected. So, because obviously the last episode ended with a teaser tag of Captain Carter and Widow discovering that the Hydra Stomper armor is like in some kind of frozen state, like it's in like a lockdown, like a standby state, and it's got like medical machines hooked up to it. And that there's someone inside, implying that she gets her happy ending because Steve is alive. But it's like, yeah, but how old is he? Like, did he age? Like, what's the catch?
Old as a ball.
What is the catch? You still could have had her Steve frozen in the ocean and do it convoluted in some way like that, because, like, she didn't get frozen in the ocean.
No.
She went through a portal beating up a load of tentacles. Like, she got here with a different method, so, yeah.
It happens.
But, like, it just sort of... It was fine. As a finale, it was fine. I'm not in a hurry to rewatch it again. I'd only rewatch the finale again if I was like doing a series rewatch. So it's low on the list for those reasons. Your number 7, sir, by Jingo.
My number 7, and I was surprised it was as low on this list, because I remember thinking it was quite good, but I think it was just because it was quite solid and didn't have any of the high points that the other episodes had. Was what if the Avengers never assembled?
Oh, what if the world lost its mightiest heroes?
Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Again, nothing particularly wrong with it. It's fairly solid. I like the Yellow Jacket twist. I like that they had Hank Pym around.
Hank's incredibly stressful confusion when Nick Fury starts fighting back in a superpowered way.
I like the things it did with Loki, and that turned into a resistance thing at the end. It just, it didn't light my world on fire. There was nothing wrong with it. It was good. It was just not great, which I think some of these episodes had moments that are great, even if they're not great in themselves. Whereas this was just consistently pretty good.
Okay. My number 7, Zombies.
Okay.
I've warmed to it a little more since seeing it. I didn't like it.
That's happened for me with a couple of episodes.
I didn't like it at the time, and I still, again, I'm like, huh? But there's something about the horror fan in me that just sort of enjoyed the sort of, oh god, the Scarlet Witch is a zombie, and oh god, the wasp's gonna grow giant and eat people. Like, something about the playfulness of some of the setups has kind of made it grow on me a little. There's still so much wasted opportunity. Tonally, it is so inconsistent. Like, either have it be a flat out comedy from minute 1,
Yeah.
But if you're going to do that, you can't make it gory and full of tragedy.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to find a way to balance it. What they went for was a horror comedy, but they lent on the comedy too much.
Way too much.
Which is tough to do when the stakes are so huge. Like, Shaun of the Dead is a comedy horror. It's funny before it's scary.
Yeah.
But the stakes in that movie aren't the end of the known universe.
No.
The stakes are, this borough in London is fucked. As evidenced by the end of the movie, when we see that everything's back to normal, to the point where the zombies are under control enough to be contestants on game shows.
Yeah.
Like, there's no world-ending stakes in Shaun of the Dead. There are personal stakes, there are emotional stakes, but it's not a cosmic threat.
All you needed to do was go to the Winchester, have a pint, and wait for this all to blow over.
Exactly. Whereas this is a cosmic threat.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't be taking it this seriously. Maybe Spider-Man could have been quipping and joking and this, that, and the other, and then break down. And you realise it's his coping mechanism working to overdrive.
But the episodes aren't long enough for you to fit that in.
Exactly.
Because you've got to do the whole Scarlet Witch, Baba Yaga thing.
Yeah. I like what they did with Vision, though. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, that was alright.
Creepy. What's your number 6? Number 6 with a big old number 6. Oh, 6.
My number 6 was What If T'Challa Became Star-Lord?
Okie dokie. Ooh,
Because,
right.
again, it's mostly pretty good.
Yarb.
And I don't really have any huge issues with it. But it's just, again, consistently pretty good.
Okay.
If I was to pick things out that I wasn't keen on, did not buy the Thanos twist at all.
Okay, yeah.
But it's not gonna ruin the episode for me. I just didn't buy it.
What, you didn't buy that he'd basically just become like a message board troll version of Thanos? Because he's like,
Like-
alright, fine, but I'm
just
right,
don't-
though.
I don't know how T'Challa could have talked him out of his fucking plan, but yeah, whatever. It's fine. Just accept it and move on. The Howard the Duck stuff, I thought it was neat to get some Howard in there.
Yeah. Little did we know it was a tease.
Yes.
It was but a soupçon of Howard.
Yes.
A sprinkling.
Howard the Duck is always a welcome inclusion. I didn't really love the Drax moments. And I think that was partly because it wasn't Dave Bautista.
Because you know he'd nail it. I mean, Fred Tatasciore did a great job with it.
I mean, he's fucking
but
pro.
But knowing as well what we know now, the Bautista was like, I was never called.
It just feels odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, it's a fine...
Because the casting director confirmed, like, no, we did reach out to him.
Yeah, that's weird.
So it didn't get through. And it's like, you think they'd persist then? I'd be like, Dave?
Like, someone must have his number.
Like, I get it for Chris Evans, and I get it for Robert Downey Jr., and I definitely get it now for Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, we've done it now. We've done our time, and it would feel weird to go back. It's one of the reasons why I wasn't annoyed, like some people were, that there was no Tony Stark cameo on Black Widow. It's like, why would he go back to the well?
Yeah. After
he's said the definitive goodbye to this job and this role.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. I understand them getting impersonators in for those roles.
Yeah, why not?
So yeah, it's but
and good impersonators as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just it was fine. It was good. It was actually, I'd go so far as to say it was good. It's just that there were 5 other episodes of this series that I thought were better.
Fair enough.
Like,
I have to agree that they were definitely 5 better than my number 6 pick. What if Ultron won? Because again, it works only as a part 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see. I would have loved to have seen a version that is just the Natasha and Clint saving the world storyline.
Yeah.
Which doesn't have Ultron having a cosmic influence. Like, there's a version of it that's that, and that would have probably been one I enjoyed more because I like what it was showing me. But it was, and I like the Watcher Ultron fights. They were punching each other through dimensions.
They were really good. Actually,
like that's really visually cool. It would have been cool to see more stuff like that. To see Asgard getting blown up by a laser from the sky and all these cool ideas in there. But because it served only to be a part 1, I can't really put it higher. Like very rarely will you have a part 1 and a part 2 that are so distinctly different that you can think of them as a separate thing. It's not like a Pandorica Opens Big Bang situation where it's like the Big Bang's really cool, but it only works as a part 2, whereas the Pandorica Opens is a really cool episode of Doctor Who. Yeah. So yeah, Ultron 1 is number 6 for me, and it just, again, mostly out of function.
For the similar reasons, I think that's why it's my number 5.
Hey!
Like it works. It's not lower on this list because of the Watcher Ultron stuff.
Yeah. You did enjoy the fights. In fact, some of what's left on your list implies that the fights were things that saved a few episodes for you. Yeah,
definitely. The Natasha Clint stuff was fine, but it wasn't actually as interesting to me as the Watcher.
Fair dues.
Ultron sort of conundrum, but I like big cosmic Marvel bullshit.
And Kirby Crackle.
I fucking love Kirby Crackle.
There was a lot of Kirby Crackle.
All about Kirby Crackle.
Well done, animators.
But again, you're right. It only works as the first part of a two-parter, which we'll get to.
Well, what is that? Was your number 5? Yeah,
that was my number 5.
My number 5 is what I like to call the easy entry because it was. What if Captain Carter were the first Avenger?
Okay, yeah.
I really enjoyed it, but it was Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah.
It's starring one of my favourite cast members in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and one of my favourite actors of the day, who I really like, and everyone in it did a great job. Sebastian Stan feels a bit uncomfortable in it, and then when he shows up later on in Zombies, he suddenly is nailing it, and you're like, oh right, I get okay, that was weird. And Dominic Cooper's sort of like forgotten what Howard Stark sounds like. It's like, dude, you played him in a movie and 2 seasons of a TV series. I'm Howard Stark, don't you know? I was like, okay, sure, whatever. But like it's but it's like I like the twists, like the Johannes Schmidt's plan changing to accommodate how the arc's different. Yeah. Steve still wanting to be in the fights, though essentially a proto Iron Man arms created is like that's highly unlikely. But wait, Howard's using the Tesseract as a power source. Of course, we never saw him get hold of a power source like that and what he would then develop it into.
Yeah.
So why not create a suit of armour that just happens to coincidentally be something similar to what his son in another timeline will create in the future? Sure, whatever. The fucked up weirdness of the fact the final boss, as it were, is basically Cthulhu. Like, it's just Captain Carter having a punch fight with a lot of tentacles. It's like, I was not expecting this! Like, it's weird. And it gets points for that. And Dum Dum Dugan's in it, which is always good.
Always
but it's also the one. It's the episode that takes the least risks of the whole series. Functionally, of course, it is. It's the first episode. You're introducing the concept to some people who've never thought about it before.
Yeah, I get that.
So
Totally.
it works. It works perfectly, for my money, for a debut episode of the series.
Yeah,
it's not one you're going to go back to out of order. You'll always watch it first, I think.
Well, why would you watch it any other time?
There you go. Well, because, Haley Atwell.
Yeah, but
Haley Atwell.
If you're watching it
isolated, Haley Atwell.
You're not wrong.
Haley Atwell.
You're not wrong.
Haley Atwell.
You are not wrong.
When she kicked that Nazi that she didn't have to into the wall.
That was quite good.
I got pregnant. And
that's not even how biology works.
I know, but that's the power of Haley Atwell. I'm just saying. What is your number 4?
My number 4, and this honestly surprised me, was the finale.
Interesting. You're wrong, but continue.
Again, mostly because of the action.
Yeah, it was solid.
Mostly because of the action. It was solid. I'm honest.
Natasha motorbiking up a building, while Captain Carter's legging it across the rooftops with a really nice parallel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tendrils holding a kaiju-sized Ultron. And,
tentacle ball. Love a tentacle ball.
Love a tentacle ball. Love a ball of tentacles.
Yeah, I just thought the action was neat, and the only real dip in it, as we mentioned, was the sort of the what do we call him? The Killmonger twist.
Yeah,
or the Killmonger twist.
It's also oh god, what's it called when something's signposted? It's signposted so much, and then in the main fight, the fact that he barely takes part in the main fight, is also like, where is he? Like, you've got 2 just flat out humans here. You've got Black Widow getting stuck in. And you've got fuck's sake, when they show up, she fights them.
Yeah.
Like, she fights a bunch of superpowered people. Like,
she don't give a fuck.
Like, and you've got T'Challa, who is ultimately a human with jet boots and lasers.
Yeah.
And he's getting stuck in.
Doesn't have his heart-shaped herb, doesn't have his Black Panther tech.
Killmonger, where are you in this fight, man? What's going on? But the visuals of it were really cool. I see why it's higher on your list.
Yes.
It's my second to last one, but I see why it's higher on your list.
It's not going to win any prize for the script writing department, but it was less the problems I had with other episodes did more to distract from the good stuff of the episode than this one did. But to be fair, there's not much in it. Like the middle sort of. The middle 5 of my list is actually not much in it. It's just like, yeah, alright.
My 4 is what if Thor were an only child.
Alright, okay.
As I was watching it, like on transmission, as I was watching it on the first day, I was like, is this a bit too left of field? Is this a little too goofy? And on reflection, yeah, and it's what the series needed at that point.
Oh yeah, totally.
It dabbled in comedy in ways that didn't work,
Absolutely.
and then it went, fuck it. This episode is going to be a comedy.
Yeah,
it's just a comedy. Kat Dennings is going to marry a duck in a suit.
Sure.
It's going to end with the mother, the room was always tidy.
Yeah,
like ploy.
It's just
it knows what it is, and
Yeah.
it allows Natalie Portman to shine as sort of the straight man to this comedic happenstance, but not a stiff. Which is where I was like, oh god, Jane's going to be like really annoyed and stiff up her lip and all that. And it's like, no, they played it off as her being like, okay, I let my hair down for a bit this weekend, but we should probably clean up this mess, right, guys?
Yeah.
Hemsworth's always funny when he's being funny.
Yeah,
he's a very talented comedic performer,
funny.
And now we know he can do it vocally. He can be very funny vocally,
which is cool.
The cameos of other cosmic people just dicking around at this frat house party on Earth is fun. Like the idea that Nebula's sneaking off to gamble for a new eye.
Love it.
It's just weird, and I love that. Kat Dennings obviously got a great comedy actor. Kobe Smulders is a comedy performer, so she knows what she's doing, even though she was playing the straight man.
Yeah.
Clark Gregg's on top form with his asides.
Very dry.
And our Captain Marvel stand-in does a fantastic job as Carol.
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston as Bro Loki too, and but
Tom Hiddleston as Bro Loki falls a little flat for me, but that's just because it's Tom Hiddleston.
He's still posh. It's kind of like, but I found that funny because it was so kind of like, oh god, what?
Yeah, it's sort of like, ugh.
But the comedy was the strongest thing of the episode, like the strongest part of this episode.
Yeah.
The standout bit was the slapstick comedy of the round-the-world punch-up between Thor and Captain Marvel.
Good.
That was very cool, because it was ticking that fanboy box of, but who would win in a fight between... It's like, turns out, Captain Marvel, to the point where Thor feels so threatened, he cheats and just puts the hammer on top of her and is like, right, you stay there, lame person.
Yeah.
I'm done now. See, everyone? I won. It's like, you fucking didn't. She was seconds away from wiping you off the face of the earth.
I think this with a couple of missteps, like posh Street Loki, I think this episode really worked, and I thought it was really good fun, which is why it's my number 3.
Hey! I mean, come on, they have a Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner punch up in a desert that looks like it's out of one of those Looney Tunes.
It's great, and Kat Dennings marries Howard the Duck. It's fabulous.
Kat Dennings and Seth Green got married. Short Kings.
Yeah.
Short Kings and Short Queens.
Short Kings.
We stand Short Kings.
You know she's engaged to Andrew WK, right?
Yeah, who is the opposite of a Short King.
Yeah.
He's like 7'2".
Yes.
And they are insanely bigging each other up on social media all the time with their project. They're not posting lovey-dovey stuff. Yeah. They're just going he's fucking amazing, isn't he? Have you heard the new song? And he's like, she's incredible. Did you watch this thing she was in? It's like, this is really sweet.
It's good. We stan it.
When it's time to party, we will get engaged to Kat Dennings.
Yeah.
Well done.
I don't think that's not how that works. But yeah. It's good stuff. It's fun and funny, and it has fun with the concept in a way that a lot of the other episodes don't.
Yeah. That's why it's your number 3.
That's why it's my number 3.
I'm sorry to say my number 3 is a bit bleaker than that.
Oh, okay.
My number 3 is What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Because I didn't see a murder mystery coming. I didn't see that was where we were going with this.
That's fair.
So when it happened, I was like, is this the superhero version of a whodunnit?
Is this
is interesting.
Is
because
this the whodunit we deserve? Or is it the whodunit we need right now?
It was both for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, from the moment it begins and Tony dies in the diner,
Yeah.
you realise that, okay, we're going to watch the pre-Avengers get bumped off one by one. How are they going to do this? And I think what won me over and why it's my number 3, why it's so high on my list for me, is I was surprised by the creativity of the kills.
Yeah,
I didn't expect to
that
be
Hulk
surprised.
one especially, I thought was really
good.
Good.
Incredible! Because you watch it going, what the hell's happening? Why is he bulging? And like, oh my god! And then later on, well, yeah, he shot him with a load of like growth pin particles, and it fucked up his DNA. It's like, that's incredible. Like Hulk, and the fact that we sort of, it also was that little nerd box tick of we're finally getting acknowledgement of the events of Incredible Hulk in a thing with the characters as we know them from past Edward Norton. Like, we got Betty Ross again. What If gave us Betty Ross again? About damn time. Wasn't Liv Tyler, but it was a damn good Liv Tyler stand-in. And they did that thing where they kind of made him sort of look like both Mark Ruffalo and Edward Norton, even though he's voiced by Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, I thought that was a neat twist.
Because when he shows up later on in another one as Mark Ruffalo, it's like, no, that's Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Well, that's flat Mark Ruffalo. That one is sort of a hybrid. And it's like, fair enough. Because we all know that it wasn't him in that movie, so fair dues. They chicken out with that in the Killmonger episode because it's just Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even give him, like, a mustache to be like, oh, Rhodey had a mustache in the first film, so let's give him a mustache. It's like, no, it's just Don Cheadle now.
Damn
it. Sorry, I'm late, Pepper. I had a shave just before I got here.
Yeah.
Oh, no worries. Thanks, Rhodey.
It's me. I'm shaved. Let's move on.
Did you just walk up to the armour and say, this time, baby?
This time, baby.
But yeah, so I enjoyed that a lot, and I thought Lake Bell carried the first half of the episode of Black Widow really well as our protagonist.
Yeah.
And then Samuel L. Jackson, helped it absolutely stick the landing as Fury for the latter half of the episode.
Samuel L. turning up.
Yeah, that was the most we got of him as well. That was the most we got of him, and he did a really, really fun job.
He always turns up, Samuel.
I liked it a lot. And also, one of the criteria for me to where I've put them all is like, how do they actually fit?
Okay.
Do they make sense? This one, I bend that rule slightly because it's like, Hope was never a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Like, not in the field in that way.
Well, no, the suggestion is that is the divergent point.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's interesting. What led to that?
Yeah.
We don't really get the what if there. But it gave us an excuse to do a murder mystery with superheroes.
Yeah.
And that makes me happy. And I liked the little return to it briefly, that world in the finale, to see what's happening. And so, yeah.
It works.
Number 2
with a bullet.
I'm interested to see. I know which 2 yours are, but I'll be interested to see which order they're in. Okay.
Well, it's one we've already talked about.
Yes. Well, exactly. Yeah. We've talked about at least one of your number 2. Yes. Or one of your 2 remaining.
One of my number 2s. We're always talking about my number 2s. This
one's very solid. You must be very proud.
Yeah, I'm not just eating enough fibre.
Pinched it right off.
Oh God. What if Peggy Carter became the first Avenger?
Okay. Okay.
Because it was pretty much everything I expected it to be. And that was exactly what I wanted. It is the first Avenger with Peggy Carter as Captain America, and then I liked the way it sort of... I think this was the best example of them doing a story we've already seen with a twist. Mm-hmm. Whereas the other episodes that I've liked out of this series have been more, okay, let's just do something completely different from what actually happens. Whereas this, I felt was, okay, well, let's just redo the first Avenger, but let's switch a character around and explore where that takes us. And I just thought it was really good fun. Brilliant action. Like I say, Sebastian Stan does have that a slightly uncomfortable performance, but the stuff with Peggy and Steve works really well, especially considering it's not Chris Evans.
Josh Keaton, he pops up a few times in the series, but mostly as Steve, and he does a really good job. Yeah. The spectacular Spider-Man himself.
Yep. I love the way that they end it with a big technical monster and then that being her displacement thing. I just thought it was really strong. Henry Atwell's great in it. All the returning cast are great. Great action. Looks great. Exactly what I wanted from the concepts.
Ross Marquand's best turn in the series as well.
Oh yeah,
as Red Skull, because he does a pretty. We didn't mention this. He does a pretty amicable job as Ultron. in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I do wonder why they didn't get Spader, because that it was a little disarming because he did a great job with it.
Yeah.
But it was a little harder to sell simply because Spader has such a distinct voice.
Yeah.
Like, really, really distinct voice.
And as a great performance as Ultron as well.
Yeah. So Mark 1 did a great job with him in the last 2, but I wonder if the last 2 would have just sort of felt a little more kind of together if it had been Spader.
Maybe.
But he did a great job as Red Skull. In your number 2,
yes.
What if Captain Carter with the First Avenger?
Yes.
My number 2 is number 2. What if T'Challa became a Star-Lord?
Okay, so you like this a lot more than I did.
I like this a lot, and I think it's because of how fucking out there it went.
Yeah, it did go very weird. In some really nice ways.
It palette-wise, after I watched the first episode and was like, this is really fun, but it feels like they're holding our hand a bit, to me. The fact that week 2 did a, Doctor Who, the End of the World episode 2 thing of just, and now here's everything.
Yeah.
I kind of appreciated that because it was like a slap to the face with a bag of candy. It was like, all of this is interesting and tasty, I am intrigued.
I think for me, it was the base concept just wasn't as interesting as
sure,
it
yeah,
could have been.
yeah.
So like the idea of T'Challa being Star-Lord, I'm just like, it feels a bit Mad Libs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I first saw the title of it, I was like, what? But with that one, once I got past that, the thing that sold it to me was that the change, the twist, the what if, really was Yondu didn't do it himself and collect the child.
Yeah.
Kraglin and Taserface did it.
Because we like Kraglin and Taserface.
So they just scanned for alien, life signs.
Yeah.
Found a giant fucking meteorite-sized, signal coming from Africa. Found the border of Wakanda and just took the first child they saw.
Yeah.
Once I got over that being, that comedy idea, I was like, sure? Okay. The fact that he coincidentally looks the same as him is okay, that's the costume of Star-Lord, a purple version. It's okay, that's what I buy him using the tech, but just a purple version of the short jacket and everything. It's I feel like his outfit would be a bit different.
It's a Rabbit Jizzy jacket, isn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like it'd be a little more T'Challa. Why would it be purple? It doesn't. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't. I don't know. That was nitpicky as well, but I like the fact they play. It felt that was the episode that to me felt the most like an issue of What If.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's sort of the good issues of What If, not the fucking Secret Invasion tie-ins and stuff where it's all about politics and you're like, really? Alien invasion? Show me something more interesting.
Show me the alien.
I didn't mind the Thanos thing because it led to Gamora. Not Gamora. It led to Nebula's inclusion.
Yeah.
And I really liked Chadwick Boseman and Karen Gillan's animated on-screen chemistry. Yeah. It was really fun to see. Also, the idea of Nebula not being a tortured soul because she was never tortured beyond her eye. Her eye is the only thing. And the rest of us are totally fine. And she's obviously on shaky ground with her dad, but has forgiven her enough that she's I'm not going to kill you, get revenge. I'm just going to move on with my life.
And also the long blonde hair is a really good look.
Yeah, and as a nod to Nebula's hair in the past and stuff. She's had long hair and stuff in older comics.
Not blonde though.
It's blue, wasn't it?
Yeah, blue. It's all blue.
You're blue, baby.
But
the two things that cinched it for me was Boseman having fucking fun in the role.
Yeah.
He's one of the standout performers this series.
Yeah.
On delivery.
Yeah.
He relished this, and
it's just
this episode was the best use of him.
Fucking great he was.
Yeah, this episode's the best use of him because it was the one that starred him, and it gave us gave us that flexibility for him to play comedy and play the heroic side. And I do kind of buy the idea that a different person joining the Ravagers, a different Earth person being taken up there, would affect their relationship with the Ravagers.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because
and T'Challa is ultimately a really noble soul.
Yeah, whereas Peter Quill's a bit of a dickbag.
A bit of a dickbag, yeah. And obviously not as a kid, but you grow into the person that you kind of... the person you are when you're an adult, there's a seed of that tree in you when you're a kid somewhere. Yeah. And so T'Challa has always been noble. The only time he's ever fucked up is when revenge was his motivation in Civil War. And even then when he has the chance to get his ultimate revenge, he stops. because he realizes that no, Zemo should face justice. This has to be done the right way. Revenge has consumed you. I will not let it consume me. And it's like, well done. So I buy that. But also, Benicio del Toro's Swole Collector.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
like, what a fucking fun villain.
I'll give you that.
Like, so what happens when Thanos is gone out of the villain race? Well, his minions go, the fuck are you doing? And instantly gravitate toward the next person looking for power.
Yeah, too right.
Which says a lot about those 4 characters.
Yeah.
That they either have, like, a fetish for following the most powerful person, or they're like, no, we want to procure power by any means necessary. And if this guy's got all the tech, we're going to join with him. And I love the idea they never explain why he's so swole. He's just swole.
He's just got
He's just
the
massive.
stones.
He's just massive.
He's literally got the stones.
Wearing Hela's headpiece and loving it.
You know what this means, though?
Our number ones are the exact same episode.
Yeah, baby!
This is... So we got a bit... That's a bingo! Our number 1 episode, joint number 1 episode, is what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands?
See, this is the one that felt the most like a classic what if to me.
Yeah,
because it's dark as fuck.
Yes.
And it has the downer ending of all downer endings.
Oh my god, the bleakest thing ever.
Yeah, I just thought it was really good.
The Bleaker Street. Thank you. That was a Sanctum joke.
Bleakest Street. Yeah, we talked about
it's a house.
how good this was.
It's a horror
it's good.
that sticks to its guns.
It's got Benny Wong in it.
Benedict Wong makes everything better.
Yeah.
By law. But it sticks to its horror guns. It is a horror tragedy through and through. It tricks you into thinking that it might have a happy ending when you realise that there are 2 Doctor Stranges involved.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, the Ancient One, you sneaky devil. Like, you've set it up so that there will be a yin and a yang here. There will be a good and a bad Strange.
Yeah.
And the good one's going to win, and it's going to be really tough. And then it's like, no, he's going to die.
Yeah.
He will die. His cape will be ripped to pieces.
And scream as it
dies. It gave... bless her. It gave Rachel McAdams something to do.
Yeah.
Now, the Doctor Strange film doesn't not give her stuff to do, but she's so not the focal point of that movie at all that it's kind of like, that's a shame.
You could have left her out.
Yeah, you could have left her out and it wouldn't have really changed it that much. She could have been just his best mate in it. She could have been like someone in his past and it's a flashback that he remembers that sort of motivates him in some way. Like, and here's the thing. One great technique, if you have a small role that's pivotal to another character in a film, is to cast a really strong actor, because they will find something in it that you know, a lesser actor, not to say a bad actor, but a lesser actor who's not as attuned that way, wouldn't find. You can have parts in films really fucking stand out, even though they're like a minute on screen.
Because they do their fucking job.
Yeah. or like the part is written so well that it merges with them brilliantly. I mean, because it can happen sort of in a beautiful accident. This isn't an example of the first, this is an example of the latter. Stanley and Mallrats. Glorified cameo, but the way it's written to suit him and the way he sells it as a non-performer who's always wanted to perform, you come out of that scene with him and Brody and you go, that was really sweet. But there's something really nice about the way that's performed. And then the little subterfuge reveal afterwards, it's like, he plays that really well too. And it takes this bit that could just be this weird scene with a random comic book man, and you come out the back of it and you go, do you know what I mean? You come out the back of it and you go, because that's how it was written. It was written as just a random dude. Yeah. And Kevin Smith talked to the producer more at Jim Jacks, who said, like, who's this comic book guru character? And he was like, sort of a Stan Lee type. And he went, why don't you just write it for Stan Lee? And he went, because I don't know Stan Lee. And Jim Jacks went, I do. We have lunch once a month. So he set up the conversation with him. And Stan read it, said he liked it, even though he said, I'd never say any of this shit, was the first thing he said. But then he called Kevin Smith up to talk to him. He said, I'll do it, because I'm a ham, and I've always wanted to do a part this big. Yeah. But I won't... my wife would never forgive me if I talked about the girl that got away. Because we've been together for decades, and it's not real. And Kevin was like, you know it's not real. And he went, no, I know, but... No. I go home to her every night, and she would feel devastated. So that's why they wrote in the little bit where he talks to Thingy afterwards, and he goes like, I just fed him a soliloquy from, or is it Love Beard? a vulture tonight or whatever it is, and they throw in that little reference to be like, oh, I made up a story to like make my point to him.
Yeah,
and that's there just because it was the only caveat. I'll do it if you do that.
That's good.
But what I'm saying is that little moment kind of really makes that sequence in the film, and Rachel McAdams has the potential to do that. Doesn't really get the chance to do that in Doctor Strange. So this episode gives us Christine, played by Rachel McAdams, and though she is fridged *, thrown off a cliff, it's not like we don't see her again and again and again, giving her chances to play different sides of Christine as the story develops, as she reacts to the world changing around her, and then gives that absolutely fucking pitch perfect moment at the end where she looks up at Stephen, sees what the fuck he's become, and if she were a lesser actor, this wouldn't work as well. Sells the absolute horror of what she sees before her, which instantly shatters every bit of hope he's ever had for this horrible mission he's been on to try and get her back.
Yep.
You have to play that so carefully, and I think she in particular really sells out this episode. Benedict Cumberbatch does a really good job.
Yeah.
Benedict Wong does a great job with the little scenes we get with him.
I think
Tilda Swinton does fine. She's sort of playing it kind of...
Yeah.
I foresaw this, so it's sort of monotone. Anyway, bye, Stephen. Like, she has a better chance in Endgame to sort of play with the role.
Yeah.
But it's just a really good horror.
Yeah.
It's a really good horror. And you get the whole like multiple creative deaths thing, and the monsters and the creature designs.
Yeah.
And Cagliostro's library and
Groundhog Day loop of the car crash.
Yes. Oh, it's so morbid. It's so morbid. and that absolute spine-chilling moment midway through where he started to absorb dark magics, the Watcher's narrating, and you just, before he even says anything, you see Strange stop and kind of look over his shoulder slightly. And you feel it in your gut. You're like, he's about to say something to the Watcher. And it's so like...
Yeah.
And it's still early in the
a great
series where the
moment.
Watcher's just a visual narration device. So he's just not there. Like, he doesn't react, he's just not there. And you're like, why did Strange hear him? And it's so
I feel
eerie.
like he's in the shadow at that moment. Like
He's there, but by the time Strange turns around, there's no frame anymore. There's no kind of like thing for him to look at.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like...
Yeah, it's a really neat moment.
Which adds to the desperation at the end when the universe is crumbling around him and it's his fucking fault. And it's just him and like the body of Christine in this void of nothingness. And he screams for help to the Watcher, who has to finally sort of lean in and be like, mate, I can't do shit. Like, you did this.
Until...
Yeet!
Yeah.
And like...
Watch it out.
It's the episode that works the most perfectly on its own.
I think it's the best what if of the what ifs.
Yeah. That's why it was our number one.
Yeah. It was our number one.
But do you disagree, boys and girls?
Let us know.
What are your thoughts? bigdamcontact@gmail.com. If you want to send us a truncated top 9, you don't want to write a full email out, you can tweet to us. @BigDamnCast. Doesn't hurt, does it? Doesn't hurt. Should we pop emails through it next week? We'll save them for next week.
We've only got one.
Oh, is it what if related?
No.
Oh my god. Right, go on. We'll have a little email.
This one comes from good old Ian.
Old Ian?
Good old Ian.
Is that the later timeline version?
He's not old.
He's so old. He's so old.
It says, so last week, during the podcast, Matt asked Chris to answer the question at least twice. The correct line is, answer the question, damn your eyes!
Yeah. Answer the question, damn your eyes! Finished Series 3 of Ghosts just after we recorded as well, and fucking hell, it's so good.
Also,
it's so good.
I watched Diana the Musical, and as you two are both performers of the stage variety,
I've seen a clip!
I thought you'd enjoy some of my favourite lines.
I want to get drunk and watch. Have you seen anything of
Nope.
this? So it was an off-Broadway production,
Yep.
American, fucking obviously, because they fetishize the royals in a way that's even weirder than us, because they do it while also thinking we all talk like Cockney urchins. It was an off-Broadway production. It had its time. One of Bon Jovi wrote it. Like, the guitarist from Bon Jovi co-wrote it.
Richie Sambora?
Yeah. And it then got a Broadway run that only was a few preview days in before the lockdowns began last year. So it hasn't returned yet, but last summer they got the cast together at the theatre, like quarantined for 3 weeks beforehand and all this stuff, and they shot a staging of it because they didn't know if they were going to be able to come back when Broadway reopened. Obviously, they didn't know if it was shows that would have been scheduled.
Shouldn't have come back.
Shows that would have been scheduled for 2022 or what have you would have gone into those slots. And as it turns out, it's been a mix. Like some shows have come back, and some shows have not come back to give way for the shows that were meant to start around this time.
Yeah,
they filmed a version of it. I've seen one short clip where the paparazzi sing about money in the bank being...
we'll get there.
Is the lyric in the... Oh my god.
We'll get there.
The lyric is the most atrocious thing I've ever seen in my life. And they all sing it in thick Cockney accents, and some of the paparazzi are wearing suicide vests. Suicide bomb vests under their big coats.
Why?
Because, it's going to be the death of her. Fucking hell.
So, Ian's given us some...
Barbara Cartland is a character in it. She appears sporadically like a narrator, like a fucked up Rocky Horror Show.
So Ian's given us some lyrics. All right, I'm no intellect, but maybe there's a discotheque where the prince could hear Prince and we'd all get funkadelic.
I already want to die.
I may be unwell, but I'm handsome as well.
What? That's okay. You just rhyme well with well, but still.
Well, I could use a prince to save me from my prince. Rhyming prince with prince, but once capitalised. It's a thriller in Manila, but with Diana and Camilla.
Oh, fucking hell.
Can they survive our royal horror show? Serves me right for marrying a Scorpio. And finally,
yes,
as you've teased...
Oh, careful, my flu jab.
Oh, sorry.
For those listening at home, Match puts that on my shoulder.
Better than a Guinness.
Yeah.
Better than a wank.
Yeah.
Snatch a few pics. It's money in the bank. Jesus fuck, we've got to watch that. We've got to see it.
Here's your challenge, folks. If you listen to the show on the regular and you're not a patron, for as little as £1, might I say, for the first tier, if before the end of October we get 3 more patrons, which also gets you onto the Discord server and any exclusive stuff that we put out or preview stuff will go through there first. If we get 3 new patrons before the end of this month, just 3, tiny target, but if we get 3, we will record a commentary for Diana the Musical, which will be available to patrons sometime next month. I hate that
you've committed me to this.
No, because here's the thing.
I hate that you've committed me to this.
We have to watch it and then watch it again to record a commentary.
No.
3 patrons. Make this man say yes.
Do we have to watch it again to do a commentary? Do we not do a first time commentary?
It'd be a lame commentary if we were just being quiet the whole time.
No, because I don't.
We can put the subtitles on.
I don't think I could be.
We can put the subtitles on low volume.
Oh, well, fuck it. We'll just watch it twice.
We'll watch it twice. Diana the Musical, but only if we get 3 new patrons before the end of the month. So there's your challenge. Patreon.com.
We'll watch it twice and we'll get bullets both times.
Patreon.com/BigDamnCast. Thanks for joining us this week. We love your eyes and the sockets there within.
Yeah, tasty.
Good, itchy. Tasty. Oh yeah, did you see the Resident Evil trailer?
That looks like someone made a Resident Evil fan film.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
That's no bad thing.
Woo!